It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors, beware as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey there, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And Murray, a man who I heard wears shoes on his feet whenever he goes outside. Is this true, Merman?
That sounds logical.
All right. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
As I step up to the mic with no shoes on whatsoever. Thanks to all who've been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast, please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform. Or even better, support us and join the Film Rage community by joining a membership at buymeacoffee.com/Film Rage YYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film. And you know what? We'll watch it if it played in cinemas anywhere in the world. Now, let's get to raging. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hey, Bryce, what are you doing tonight?
I'm going to my favorite cinema, Canyon Meadows Cinema, to see the best second-run movies at the best price.
What? How inexpensive are they?
Regular price is $5, $5.
Regular price is $5. Makes me hope they also serve pizza.
They do, plus a lot of other great food choices. Plus, I'm planning my office Christmas party there. They can host a plethora of options for any get-together. Gaming, movie, drag show.
Drag show? Now I know where I'm planning my next party.
Hey, maybe you think there's a Liam Neeson or a superhero movie planned?
I hope not. But maybe there'll be a great independent documentary.
Sure. Call CMC at 403-670-5444 to book a special event or go online at canyonmeadowscinema.ca.
A special shout out to our buddy Paul, who works over there at Canyon Meadows,
Yeah.
who is reviving his Escape Fest.
Nice.
And on top of and besides the usual movies that they play, I believe he plays some 80s stuff as well.
Which sounds awesome.
I think this weekend is maybe Demolition Man. I can't remember.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You know what? All those who are listening in Calgary.
Demolition Man?
Check it out.
Starring Jesse the Body Ventura and Dennis Leary.
Sure.
Yeah, that.
I think they were both in it.
I believe Benjamin
I don't know if
Bratt.
starring is the right choice.
I believe Ben-
Starring. That's why people go to Demolition Man.
I believe Benjamin Bratt's in it too.
Well, that's awesome. So we went to cinemas.
Benjamin Bratt is... I thought he was in Law and Order.
Maybe he's not too.
Maybe he's.
I thought that's all he did.
Maybe he's in.
He's in other stuff?
He was also in Miss Congeniality.
Maybe he's also in the movie we're about to talk to.
Blocked him out of my
I don't
memory
know,
because
but
of
I don't
that.
think he was
He probably was
somewhere
background somewhere. He's
hiding behind a CGI something.
an
He was in
extra.
Catwoman too.
I didn't know Catwoman had a sequel.
No, Catwoman as well.
Oh, not Catwoman 2.
Now that would be twice
With Halle
as good.
Berry. Yes.
Yes. But we didn't see that.
No.
We saw
Cocaine Bear. Yeah. Cocaine Bear, as predicted, takes a one-note concept and plays that one note for 95 minutes. Bear does cocaine, gets high, eats people, and looks for more cocaine. This is not the stuff that a feature-length movie is made of, but if you are making this film, it has to be wall-to-wall mayhem. All killer and no filler. Granted, it is a pretty entertaining note it plays when it hits the right pitch. It made for some very entertaining scenes. But there was just not enough of them. Bad CGI aside, which could either annoy you or add to the campy enjoyment of the whole project, depending on how you're feeling at that moment, there just wasn't enough carnage. I was in a strange place while watching this that walked the line of boredom and craving more. And when the credits finally rolled, I was just glad that it was over. There was glimpses of the movie this could have been throughout, and it was definitely better than I had imagined. But while it did deliver, it didn't deliver near enough. This was the third time in the director's chair for Elizabeth Banks, and if she is not careful, she might find herself on the doubted list, as her first two efforts were rages, and this one, well, it was still a people-eating bear high on cocaine on a murderous rampage, and there was enough of that to make it meh.
What? You were stringing me along, you little devil. Woo! Well, as Bryce has already said, and as anyone who listens to this podcast regularly will already know, that things that eat people, be them zombies, other humans, animals, inanimate objects, and especially bears that are motherfucking high on cocaine. So it would not come as a surprise that I was looking forward to this film. And those things are my favorite genre, just so y'all know.
Yes.
Probably more than any film about eating people this year, but then I haven't seen very many, so I think it may be the only one that's eating people that wait, there's Meg 2 that Murray reminded me of. Now I'm more excited for that, only because I've already seen this. This is supposed to be based on a true story, but I'm sure that the only thing that was true was that there was a bear who did ingest cocaine.
I'm not even sure that's true.
Yeah, it is.
And it fell from the sky. Hold on.
All
This
right.
is important point I'm going to make here. And I am sure the merman will have all the facts as backup soon as I am through.
I think so, do you?
Yeah, that's what you do. You're the fact man. That's the facts, Jack. Elizabeth Banks' first directorial debut in comedy horror comes off not as expected. The CGI bear is completely, awfully done, but that's okay with me, to Bryce's point, because it just added to the humor of this.
It's supposed to be serious.
The writing, that's no
What?
possible way this was
No, it
serious.
wasn't.
Like-
The writing in this was well written and very in the moment. I say this because the dialogue was quick and clever and very specific to the individual characters that were actually saying the line. The funny parts were funny, and the gore parts were also very funny, but it did get bogged down with trying too hard to tell a story. Well, in fact, a few stories all together at the same time. Ultimately, the funny wasn't constant or funny enough. The horror, although good, could have been more and funnier. Spoiler alert, I did love seeing the bear and her cubs eat Ray Liotta's intestines as an homage to the once great actor. But I kind of wish they would have done that 15 to 20 minutes earlier in the film. More gore, more funny, and less draggy. Would have made this amazing. But because I laughed hard, super hard, and well enough at times to keep this a joyful bears eating people movie meh.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah. All right, Mur. What'd you think of? You didn't get to see this with Bryce and I, so what did you get to feel watching Cocaine Bears by yourself?
Well, yeah, it was pretty funny. I didn't have a lot of expectations or high hopes for this because it looked kind of stupid in the trailer. But
Was High Hopes an intentional pun?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, funny parts are really funny. I love the 80s vibe. As you know, I'm all about the 80s.
Yes, you did.
And yeah, for your little fact tree there, I did do a little bit of research, not a lot. Yeah, this was based on a real story, but the bear basically ate the cocaine and just died of a heart attack.
Like he didn't
I don't
eat
think
anybody?
he ate anybody. He didn't attack anybody. He just ate it and died. But that was the stuff they found. I mean, end of the movie, spoiler alert, they give you a thing at the end, is a lot of that cocaine apparently was never found. I don't know how they wouldn't go looking for it, but whatever.
But it wasn't inside the bear's carcass.
No, it wasn't inside the bear. It was just out in the forest somewhere. I mean, I just recently watched again Tom Cruise. What was the one about the pilot?
Top Gun.
American Made.
Maverick. Oh.
No, American Made. The real story. About the guy who used to drop the
cocaine for
bundles,
bears.
in like the swamps of Louisiana or something because he couldn't fly into Miami. I mean, at least he dropped it somewhere where they could find it. I don't know how these idiots couldn't find these yellow and red bags in the forest. But
maybe because the bear was storing it.
Who would even drop it in the middle
cave.
of the forest? But whatever. Anyway, that's beside it. The actual bear who ate the cocaine just died of a heart attack. He didn't actually kill anybody. So this is obviously made for comedy effect. I was actually quite surprised and shocked at the guy from Modern Family.
Oh yeah,
who was unrecognizable.
Yeah,
no idea who you're talking about. What's a Modern Family?
Just shut your brain off for a minute.
I know who you're talking about.
No, he was a skinny redheaded guy for like all 9 years of that TV show. And in the 5 years since it went off the air, he gained like 60 pounds and a bunch of facial hair.
Maybe he was wearing
I didn't even recognize
a fat suit.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
There you go.
What's a Modern Family?
It's a TV show.
And of course,
but he's an actor.
And of course, he knows the director because she was in the show as well.
Yes.
She played their best friend.
Yes.
She was like a ditzy party girl. But anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, no, it was pretty funny. It had some good moments. The ambulance chase was really awesome. And it had a nice kid angle. I mean, Keri Russell is always good. And yeah, she just was a mama trying to find her kid. I enjoyed that story. And Ray Liotta and his last movie.
Yeah.
He literally died like a week after he finished like the voiceover work. Like he came back to the studio and did the voice stuff, and he like died a week later.
Wow.
So yeah, it was his last role, and he was still awesome, like he always was. Like no one's more of a badass than him. Like just looking at him. But everything I've heard like out there in the world is he's like the nicest guy in the world. But just you look at him and you think he's gonna punch you or something because he just looks angry all the time.
Although I turned to Bryce afterwards. It kind of looked like he was dying through this movie.
He probably was.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had some good characters in it. Not enough violence for my liking. But yeah, the bear was obviously CGI because it was for comedy. I mean, if it was a serious movie, it would look stupid.
Yeah, well, most CGI bears look stupid.
But I mean,
CGI anything looks stupid.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they didn't want to use a real bear because obviously.
Why not? That's what they did in the old days with movies. They had real bears.
Cocaine and had it climbing up trees.
What? You don't like it when they used real bears?
No.
What did you like when they dressed in bear suits, like Godzilla? Like,
just
you know
put
what?
A guy in a bear suit. If you need a bear, it's fine.
Godzilla versus the bear.
Yes.
If the bear was a real bear, now that would have been scary because you'd be thinking the whole time,
like,
Godzilla's a person, and the bear is actually going to kill him somehow.
The bear is like 1/10 the size of Godzilla. You just squash him. This is some kind
Well, no, I'm talking in reality, Murray. The guy who filmed it was from Japan. He was, probably shorter than a bear, I'm guessing. The real actor wasn't Godzilla size.
Anyway. Yeah, no, it was enjoyable.
Really?
Yeah.
Movie magic, man.
There you go. One thing I noticed that probably almost nobody else did was the vehicles in the parking lot.
Right.
I recognized at least two of them.
Uh-oh.
One of them, the bad guy.
Was it Back to the Future car?
No. Oh. One of them, the bad guys, when they rolled out.
Was it Starsky and Hutch?
The Ray Liotta's son and the black guy.
Yep.
They were driving a truck. You know what truck that was?
No.
From The Fall Guy. Hello. 1980s. The other one I think was from like Hardcap.
How do you know these things?
Like, because I love the 80s, but I recognized they were like legendary TV cars. I was waiting for the frickin' General Lee to pull up because everything else was in the parking lot.
Was Kid in this?
No Kid.
Is Kid in the 80s?
Yes, Kid was in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I did enjoy the 80s aspect, but yeah, the story wasn't great. I mean, it had some fun moments, and I love seeing Ray Liotta. So yeah, it was an enjoyable man. That's all I got.
All right.
I thought he gave it a rage.
No, he gave it a man.
Oh. Well, I heard him say rage like 10 times.
Oh, he said
rage
Elizabeth Banks
Yeah,
two rages and then said nay.
No, he said rage.
No, he said no. Look at that. That was perfect. You know what? We're starting off to a really good start here.
Are we?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, you know.
Well,
Until now.
Can't wait to hear what you guys thought of this.
Yeah, so Murray decided not to see this one.
No, I opted out of the
because we got to see Jesus' Revolution. First and foremost, before we do anything, I want everyone who's listening right now to know that I hate you, Bryce, more than Satan would actually allow me to.
You wanted to watch Kelsey Grammer movies. I gave you a Kelsey Grammer movie.
Yeah, you did. But
you're welcome.
You refused to watch all his other movies.
That's you're welcome.
What is this movie about, you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. This movie is about up-close facial shots and every single person in the film having a one-on-one conversation with every other character in this movie
Revolution
for half of this entire film. Usually, trying to convert me to religion, they repeated ad nauseum was the, and I'm making very quotey signs here, the truth.
Right.
But what truth are they talking about? Is it that spiritual healing is truth? That perhaps prophets walk the earth soothsaying?
Maybe.
That religions in California are not judgmental. Because after seeing this, the only truth I know is that there was not anything properly explained or truthful in this film.
Wow.
Well, that's a bit of a lie. Another truth is that this film was 2 hours of conversion therapy. So torturously horrifying, I thought that watching it was going to finally make me hate the makers of this film more than I already hate Bryce for making me watch this. But there is no hope there, Bryce. I could never hate anyone more than I hate you right now. And I lied again. Kinda.
You love me.
This movie was doing non-stop through this movie. The entire lying. Everything they said was a lie.
A lie.
It was a complete lie. There are 4 things I know unequivocally that are true.
Okay.
Number 1, Bryce will always be the top of my hatred ladder from now on.
Nice.
The best line in this movie was when the Satanist said, "Hail Satan."
Okay.
The third thing is, Kelsey Grammer apparently makes 2 kinds of movies now. Made-for-TV movies and films that make me rage. And the fourth and final thing I know as a truth, I did like the music, and I also liked Connie from the show. Yeah, this was terrible. I literally felt sick the entire time I was watching it. And I got some things to, say, but let's hear what you have to say about this.
So,
treasure trove of joy that you brought me to.
Jesus Revolution.
Amen!
There are times that movies are made for a specific audience that definitely is not me, but still may land somewhat as I get taken along for the ride as I watch it with the crowd it was produced to please. For example, last week I went to an afternoon screening that had a large group of seniors that were bussed in from the old folks' home to watch 80 for Brady. They were all dressed up in their football jerseys and sweatshirts, posing for photographs with the poster before they entered the cinema.
Do you know how he's sidestepping the actual review of this movie?
And were given the movie they were there to see. It had scenes that I found myself laughing along with them as I enjoyed this on a whole new level because I was experiencing it with them. Their joy was contagious. And I'm actually not sure if the movie was anywhere near as enjoyable as what I experienced, but I'm glad I went to it at that time and place as it created a perfect storm of happiness. I bring this up as I found myself in a similar situation when I went to Jesus Revolution.
What?
A movie that also was not made for me, but I was once again immersed in a crowd that it was made for. But this time I felt alienated from the crowd as this unfocused mess of a movie played out. So basically, if you're not part of the choir this is preaching to, then do not bother. And even if you are a card-carrying member of Club Jesus, still don't go to this because this is a bad movie. And a bad movie is a bad movie. This was a rage. But I liked 80 for Brady because I watched it with a lot of old people and they were awesome.
But every time they okay, Murray, you have to picture this, okay?
Yeah.
We're sitting kind of in the front row because everywhere behind us was completely sold out.
Was it really that?
This
It
movie
was packed.
It
on
was
a Monday night
packed.
when it was
On a
snowing?
Monday night, it was
packed. And like whenever there was
And
one
they loved it.
when there was one of those Jesus moments
Must've been Bible
where
study
they're
night.
trying to convert people or they're telling and I'm making heavy quote signs here again, the truth, Murray, the truth,
Yeah.
because they kept saying this is the truth, but then they never told us about the truth. They just said the truth, it's the truth. And every time they said that, it was almost on cue. The entire audience would go, amen. And I'm just like, what? What's happening back there?
You were actually yelling it.
Yeah. And there was quite a few
So you went to a church
praise
service.
Jeebus too.
Yeah.
It was kind of like we went to church. But you know what? I've been to church many times in my
Yeah,
youth.
church isn't quite
Church
as
is-
preachy.
Church is not
Depends
quite
where you
as
go.
preachy. And you know what? Every time I would go to church, I would still learn something. I would learn about a book that they're telling me that's supposed to be the truth, but they would still tell me about a book that, was written by somebody. Whereas this was just like,
It was a mess.
yeah,
Well, this was technically written by the guy who it's about,
Oh.
based on his book.
There you go.
yeah.
He probably was a producer in the movie, so basically they just took his book verbatim and made it into a movie.
Well, they should have. I mean, if this was a book, still don't know what they were telling me in this book.
It was kind of weird because there's parts where it was like you're kind of making it look, with his. They're kind of making themselves look stupid in some parts.
Yes.
It's like what are you? What aren't you supposed to be like totally pro everything here? And then all of a sudden you're they're turning it into a slideshow here, and I don't know. It was
Yeah,
very
like
weird.
it was like I'll give you a perfectly good example of that.
With the
that
faith
Bryce is saying,
healing and
yeah, because they had faith healing in it, and it was like it kind of made it look like that was fakey, and they were kind of judging it about it. But then they kind of turned it a little later to make it feel like it wasn't fakey. So it was just like you weren't really had a clear message as to what message they were telling about, first off, what is the truth. That was the tough part. And it wasn't really a story. A story, like I said to Bryce after we left the cinema, if P.T. Anderson directed this could have been good.
There was it was an interesting story. It
Yeah, it just
actually
didn't
was.
tell
It
that.
was just I don't know.
They just didn't tell that story.
No.
They told too many, positioned preach sessions where, they had to have these close-up, and there was so much close-up shots.
I should have went back and actually read the Time article because I'm sure it wasn't quite.
Yeah, supposedly there's a Time article about this, man.
Sure.
Well, one thing is also true. It sure is good that Murray did not go, and that we have a sound effect that can absolutely impact
I would have left
what we
halfway
think.
through.
Rage.
So we're batting 1,000 today. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Do you want to say anything more about 80 for Brady? I mean, you kind of gave us a little taste, but
It was
you kind of threw that on us.
I can't believe I enjoyed it as much as I did. But I tell you, if you're going to watch 80 for Brady, make sure you're absolutely surrounded by people that are like minimum 75 years old.
Is there a risk of that?
And then you don't hate Tom Brady as much as 90%.
Oh, it doesn't matter. You can hate Tom Brady. You're fine. If you went to
Because
this would have filled you out with so much joy.
I don't think so.
But did it have the love of Jesus down in your
Love of
heart?
Brady.
Where? Down in your heart.
And it had Gronk,
Down
too.
in your heart. Did it have the love of
It
Jesus?
did have
love
Gronk.
of Jesus down
Yeah,
in
hard
your
pass.
And Edelman.
If I want to see a football movie about faith, I'll watch American Underdog.
It's not a football movie about faith. What are you talking about?
He's thinking that the two
By the way,
movies
that was
coincide.
terrible. Did you watch that piece
I
of
watched it
garbage?
several times, and yes, it was highly religious, but it was about my favorite NFL
Jesus-loving
player
quarterback
of all time.
This is going off the rails.
Just saying.
Now, did you not also see one other movie we didn't talk much about,
What?
but we should probably mention it that you've
Why?
seen it because this
What?
may excite Murray.
What?
You saw the movie that you forgot to tell me about, and then you went and saw it, and then you
What?
told me after that you saw it, and I'm like, oh, thanks, Bryce,
What,
for not
Luther?
telling me. Yeah, Luther.
What's
Supposedly Luther came out in cinemas this week.
Yeah, it'll be on Netflix
What's
in a couple
Luther?
weeks, I'm sure.
Well,
'cause it's a
Bryce is going to
Netflix
tell us
production.
what Luther is.
I'm not gonna. Luther is just the latest from Idris Elba. It's based on a BBC TV
It's his
series.
TV show.
yeah, that
What,
came to the
They
movies.
released the movie of it?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
there's a movie of it.
I just thought he
Murray.
was going back to Netflix or wherever it's on and do another season.
Maybe he is.
No, it's a movie.
No, I had enough Idris Elba this week, thanks.
Wow, that's almost perfect transition bait.
Almost, but not quite. All right, just when you thought you'd seen it all, we have a bear on cocaine killing people to get its next fix.
Yes.
And I don't believe he actually ate anybody. He just killed them all.
I don't know. I mean,
think
they were
he chomped
eating
down
Ray
on people.
Liotta's
Well, no,
intestines.
yeah, they were chomping on him at the end, but the rest of them, they just dismembered them.
Can I just say my favorite scene in the entire movie was when he ripped that guy's leg off and then snorted the coke off his leg.
That was pretty good.
That was awesome.
Unfortunately, not every
Come on,
bear.
Bryce.
Not every bear is as cute and cuddly as that one.
No, true that.
Here are some other movie bears.
What? Are they real bears, CGI bears, or bears
Little
in
both,
costumes?
Little both.
We'll get Bryce to tell us
First
what they
up,
are.
we have The Great Outdoors, my personal favorite. The bald-headed killer bear of Clare County. John Candy comes across him not once, but twice. First time, earlier, he scares it off by shooting the hair clean off its head, and it runs away. But then years later, when he's out there camping, the same bear comes back.
Bald bear?
The same bald bear. And then after he gets chased by the bear and gets pile drived with the door, the lodge owner comes and blasts the hair off of its ass.
So it's got...
So it's bald on both ends.
Now, okay, is this a puppet, a CGI, or a real bear?
I think it was a real bear. There was a famous bear that, well, is most everything that was shot here they used. The same one.
Most of all,
Was
it was a really bad
Bart
movie.
the bear. He did a lot of that stuff. But anyway, it was funny.
No.
It has
Next
John
up,
Candy. Murray loves that.
that's right. Next up, we have Ted. Technically a talking teddy bear,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it counts.
Thunder Buddies.
The fact that Ted has sex with a hot blonde while having no genitals is awesome.
That is true.
Plus-
That is awesome.
Flash Gordon.
Okay, wait. So is Ted a puppet? I think it's a puppet. So that's
Yeah.
a fourth type.
Yeah, there
A
you
fourth type of bear.
go.
right?
I'm getting to the big ones.
Okay, I'm just making sure we got a list. It's now 4 things. It
you
could
go.
be.
Then we have
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Edge.
I'll remind you in a minute.
The Edge.
Shot in Canmore.
Oh, yeah, The Edge.
And Kananaskis.
Yep.
Some of my film school classmates actually worked on it.
What?
Anthony Hopkins became the unofficial mayor of Canmore and made friends with pretty much everybody that he met.
Including bears, I bet.
Oh, yeah, Alec Baldwin was in it too.
Alec Baldwin.
Next up, we have the big one, The Revenant.
Yeah. the
Watching
worst CGI.
climate
That movie's
crusader
good.
Leo
No,
DiCaprio
it's
get
terrible.
mauled
I
by
really
a
liked
bear
it.
was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like it.
Unfortunately, the movie continued after that.
Yeah, if only it would have just gone up to the part where he did that.
And it won Leo
it
an
was a
Oscar.
good movie.
Yeah, it was probably one of the worst movies Leo's ever
I loved it.
been. It
Worst one he was ever
makes
nominated
no
for,
sense,
anyway.
but anyway. I liked
And
Great
then
Outdoors
finally-
better.
That
Maybe a
is
fifth
insane.
category, Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey?
No.
Oh,
Oh.
Recent crappy live-action film notwithstanding, the 2011 animated version with Craig Ferguson was sweet as honey. And any of the old cartoons from my childhood are also.
what about the one with Yu in it?
You?
Yeah, Ewan McGregor. He's in a
Oh, yeah.
Christopher
Wasn't
Robin
that
one.
live action?
I don't know.
I think it was.
It was a
Anyway.
good movie.
Winnie the Pooh.
It was puppets, I think.
I liked
yeah.
it.
Winnie the Pooh was best bear ever. That's all I got.
Oh,
So-
bother.
Oh, bother. Yeah, so now we have puppets. We didn't have puppets before. So there can be puppet bears.
I don't know
There
why
can
we're
be
still talking
CGI
about
bears. They can be real bears. And then we can have bear
bears.
in a puppet. Oh, and then animated. We've got 5 types of bears that could be in a movie. But animated's kind of like CGI.
Oh, yeah, but still, you can't beat Winnie the Pooh. Just saying.
Can we move on?
So of those 5, are you still going for man in bear suit?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
So like episode of the Incredible Hulk or something? Did he fight a man in a bear suit? Was that?
I think he fought the Sasquatch
Was that
from the $6 Million Man, maybe. But
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
I know, not surprising.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
oh, sweet, 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 sweet rage. My rage this week has already been explained in grave detail already. Is Bryce. That's my rage.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Just Bryce
It's Bryce.
in general?
Yeah, just in general. No, specifically one reason in particular, but in general, it's just Bryce this week.
I make you see some pretty bad movies too.
Yeah, but not like this, Murray.
Okay.
I've seen Kelsey Grammer movies before, but not
So
like
have I.
this. Yeah,
I've
not
seen
like
bad
this.
If it wasn't about religion, I probably would have gone to it, regardless of who was in it. Because I like Kelsey Grammer, but at least I used to.
Hail Satan.
All right. My rage this week is the fact that people will blindly defend bad art. Just because something is made by what you perceive as your people, whether that be religion or race or ideology you support, does not mean that you have to say that it is good if it is not. Be honest with yourself before going online and saying a film is wonderful, quite often before you have even seen it because of who it was made by or for. Jesus Revolution, with a 99% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with thousands and thousands and thousands of submissions, is laughable. And I would bet that 99% of that 99%, they probably didn't even see the movie. That is my rage.
I don't know if they haven't seen it, but I mean, it's not necessarily fair to say that, but 100% to your point is when they make movies specifically for you because it's regurgitating what you already believe, right? But to me, throw on the giant heap of MCU and Disney, right? Like, it really is, they're making this movie for people's, like, they can't be saying that these movies are good. Like, that just because it's a superhero movie now doesn't make it original and good. It's just now preaching to this concept of, oh, I believe in Jesus, so I believe in this. I believe in superhero movies are good, so I'm just going to say this is good. Like, it's just eating your own, right? It's like making a cartoon for kids, and then your kids go to it and your kids go, this is great, because kids don't know any different. So yeah, you're so right.
As per usual.
Well, not always usual. I mean, you did like, what was that stupid movie he just said he liked, Murray, with the bear in it? Oh, right, The Revenant.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's awful.
I enjoyed the bear eating part. That's about it.
Yeah, I thought the CGI was still CGI.
It was CGI, yeah.
I wish it was Godzilla.
Rage subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Well, it's the list, folks. If you are never heard our podcast before, go on our website, filmrageyyc.com, and take a look at the lists page where we have 4 different lists that we have created. We have the doubted, the undoubted, the repulsive, and the mesmerized. We were trying to cut down our mesmerized list, and today may be another one of those episodes where perhaps, I'm just saying perhaps, we may be lucky enough to be able to remove 2. Because, in my opinion, this movie was so terrible, and the 2 actors in it were so terrible, that I am putting forward that we remove both of them. We've done this before.
Have we?
Yes, we have.
Yeah, we have.
Because when we saw them I don't remember who they were, but they were so terrible in the movie. Nicolas Cage was dialing it in. Like even when
Nicolas Cage was brutal.
When he got, if anything, it's Idris Elba, but he was not mesmerizing either.
No.
Neither one of them was mesmerizing.
I mean, I've got Idris Elba, but I'm like, he didn't do anything for me.
No, he was not mesmerizing.
It's just that Nick Cage was that bad.
He was one step above Cage, but in my opinion, they were both awful. Now, Murray and I luckily got to see this together.
Yeah, you saved me $5. I was going to have to rent it on demand.
That's right, and I actually own this. I've never seen it since I saw it in cinemas.
I didn't even see it in cinemas.
It was on Prime, I think, is where I saw it.
Oh, I didn't get it on Prime.
It is literally on TV on Saturday.
There you go.
If I had waited a week, I could have seen it for free.
The edited version, which might have been actually better.
It's already edited.
Perhaps the edited version would have been
The problem
good.
is that they made this a PG movie.
Yeah,
the first movie was a special
No,
either,
that wasn't the problem.
They dialed it down.
So, for those who are listening, because we
Wouldn't
haven't necessarily said, we all watched Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. And the Mesmerized Off was Nick Cage versus Idris Elba. So, I am voting we get rid of both of them. After seeing this movie, I don't want either of them on the list. That's my vote. It has to be unanimous. Bryce, what do you say?
I'm wrestling with this one.
I mean, I love them both, but if you're going to dial in a movie like this, like, why did you make it in the first place? Just don't make it.
Other than the whole...
And if we've did it to other great actors, there's no reason why we can't take 2 amazing actors off.
All right. I'm okay with it.
Murray, it's up to you. If you say that you thought one of them was mesmerizing at all...
Nick Cage was Nick Cage.
Yeah.
His usual over-the-top, parts of it. But, I mean, yeah, like you said, he wasn't really trying.
Yeah.
It was like that last thing I saw with him, the unbearable, massive amount of talent, whatever. That was terrible, too. Because it was him being Nick Cage.
Yeah, I like that one. Okay.
Anyway, no, I'm okay with taking them both off. I've soured on Idris Elba since that stupid Lion movie. God, that was terrible.
Bryce hasn't seen that yet.
And
I can 100% guarantee that's going in a bag at some point.
And FYI, I have spent hours and hours this past week poring over the Mesmerized list.
Yeah.
Making a comprehensive list. And yeah, a lot of actors that should be on our list are not.
It should be on our Mesmerized list?
Yeah, and some of the movies that are
Mesmerized
Mesmerized
put them
people
forward.
Are Mesmerized. They made some real crap.
Yeah, but they can make crap.
Elba made some crap
Mesmerized, they can make crap. That's fine.
This is
but
crap
if they're
too,
mesmerized, yeah, but this is crap, but they were also crap in it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
The whole reason of the Mesmerized list, for those who are listening, and sometimes Murray, is that they are complete. When they step on screen, from the time they step on to the time they step off, you can't look anywhere but at that person. They could be in the middle of the mountains singing with Julie Andrews, but if they're on screen, you're not even looking at Julie Andrews in her spinning dress. You are looking at them, Christopher Plummer. Just saying, it was pretty mesmerizing.
Should be on the list too.
Yeah, maybe you should.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with it. You want to take them both off?
That's it. We got rid of 2.
No objection.
You know what? People will cry because they won't understand why we removed the brilliant Nicolas Cage and Idris Elba. But if they watch this movie, they will completely understand. Bryce doesn't look happy about it. I thought this would be you're trying to get people off. This is a perfectly good reason.
I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Come on, Bryce.
Need a nap.
You have a job or something.
Yeah, what's with that? You got a job or something?
Yeah.
A full-time job?
Yeah, they.
That this
I
was
don't
their
know.
job.
I don't know why they pay me. I have such a great time going there. They should
Yeah,
be charging
sure.
me admission, not giving me a paycheck.
Exactly, right?
It's so much fun.
It's the best.
It's the best.
So, Maurice got something for us to see this coming week, I think.
Oh boy.
He's got, holy shit, he really did.
That's half.
He did the work.
I didn't finish the
crap.
whole list.
This
All
is. Yeah, but now that we removed 2 people.
Yeah, but
it's
they're
not
not even
gonna
on
ch-
this list. Well,
Okay.
there was one that I was gonna put up, which had Nick Cage in it, but now I'm not going to.
There you go. Put a line through that.
Gone.
Let's go with one that you will probably enjoy.
Okay.
What? Okay.
Harry Dean Stanton
All right.
and Veronica Cartwright, which is the only movie I could find
Actually,
her
you
in.
can't.
Why can't I?
Isn't Veronica Cartwright mesmerizing for life?
She wasn't on my list.
There
were three
Didn't
that
George
were-
put her on as
I
Did
think
George
she,
mesmerized for
yeah,
life?
So
That wasn't noted.
okay, so
It should be noted right on the website.
No, it wasn't.
Well, let me just refer to the
the
website.
other three were, but that one wasn't. Fine,
Okay.
I will go with another one then.
I love it that this is how prepared the merman is.
Okay, let's go with another Harry.
I
Dean
really
Stanton.
didn't want to watch Alien again, anyways. So thank goodness.
Okay, how about another Harry Dean Stanton movie?
It is
other
not
one
as
that I
good a
have.
movie as people make it out to be.
Yeah, so it's on the website for life, marked by George. It's on the website right now.
Is it Safe for Life?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't
There's
see
a whole, what's that, column or a row? Column. There's a column that says for life.
that. I don't know. You had Adam Driver on there twice, so I don't know what to trust.
Well, Adam Driver's twice as mesmerizing as most people.
There you go. Makes sense to me.
Fine. Eventually, I'm gonna make this list. I'm just gonna give it to you guys to do your own work.
No, well,
Oh.
Murray, then you won't need to be on the podcast anymore. This is half your job.
Yeah, well, it's a lot.
All right, what do you got?
Oh, Harry Dean Stanton again. The only other movie I found him in that he had to be with somebody, and Harvey Keitel.
Whoa.
Something called Death Watch.
Death Watch.
It's called Death Watch, and they're right beside each other in the listing. So,
Interesting.
Death Watch.
yes, 2 words.
Death Watch.
Death Watch. This sounds like we're doing like what's that? One of those game shows that you watch all the time, Murray.
Could be. I watch a lot of game shows.
What do you know? What year is this Death Watch?
I don't know, 90 something.
So we're going to be watching Death Watch.
Yes, if you can.
Death
find it.
Watch.
And it has Harry Dean Stanton
Yes,
and Harvey Keitel.
It
in
also has. Isn't Max von Sydow also on our mesmerized list?
I believe he's off of it now.
Oh, did
Couldn't
we?
find him.
That's not good.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
How'd that
I don't know.
happen?
You tell me.
I don't know. Why don't you tell me? I don't know. Why don't you tell me? This is awesome. It's from 1980.
Yep.
In a future where dying of illness is exceedingly rare, a terminally ill woman becomes a celebrity, and a man with a camera implant goes to secretly record her for a morbid TV show. This sounds awesome.
How have I not heard of this movie?
Why am I not living in this
Were you
movie?
even born 1980?
I was born well before 1980.
He may act like he's a toddler, Murray, but he's actually not.
I'm very mature.
Yeah.
You know what? You've literally picked something that we are both excited
Yeah,
about.
I'm actually excited to watch this.
Yeah, because the plot sounds fantastic.
Q.
Q. Oh well, wait.
Are we done?
No, I think we need to talk about
Can I take somebody else off?
Christopher Plummer.
Oh, we just added that?
Yeah. Why is he not mesmerizing? And when have we seen him when he's not mesmerizing? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Well,
I like Christopher Plummer.
Don't get you wrong.
I think
but-
Amanda Plummer's more mesmerizing than
I
Christopher.
don't think so.
No, I would say you're wrong there.
They're both fine.
Okay, there we go.
I love Christopher Plummer,
Argument
but
solved.
I gotta have a higher standard now. He's not quite there.
Don't you remember the scene in Edelweiss when
I remember a
It
lot
brought
of
me to
really
tears.
good. Yeah,
Brought me to
absolutely.
tears.
He has his mesmerizing moments, but is he mesmerizing every time I see him on screen? No. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
I do like to smoke pipes. Yeah, Max von Sydow is on our list. Apparently, Murray doesn't know how to look at the
see
list.
him there.
Well, when I searched Max von Sydow,
Is he in Death Watch?
he's also in Death Watch.
So it's a fatal three-way.
It's a fatal three-way, people. The important thing is that Murray got this movie for us to watch.
Yes. Although, geez, that's actually... I'm going to say right now, this is just a prediction. Harvey Keitel's in trouble.
I think it could be because it's early enough in his career.
Yeah, Harry Dean Stanton and Max von Sydow. That's... Ooh.
I feel sorry for anyone that comes against Maxie. Maxie is Maxie.
Yeah, that would... If I'm laying a betting line right now, he's definitely the favorite.
Well, Murray, we will plan to watch this together at my place.
Will we?
Yeah, we will. All right.
Good luck finding it.
The list. Yeah, well,
I'll find
maybe
it.
we'll be watching it at Bryce's house.
What's up, rewatchers? My name is Dustin, and I have questions. Like, do you remember who the Lakewood Slasher is from MTV's Scream? Or why did Angela choose Jordan at the end of My So-Called Life? Or just how melodramatic can old TV movies of the week get? Want to rediscover how addictive The Magicians can be? Or maybe you need to laugh at the disastrous relationship advice from the UK sitcom Coupling. Don't worry, at the Rewatch Recap, we got you covered. On average, a person rewatches their favorite TV series just to find comfort in an otherwise chaotic world. And on the Rewatch Recap every Monday, we hope to accompany you through each episode of a random TV season, reanalyzing and questioning every moment filtered through a fun, rose-colored lens. So log into your streaming apps or pull out your old DVDs to join me and a special guest host every Monday on the Rewatch Recap, available where most podcasts are played.
I love watching old TV shows.
I know you do. Sounds like
Better
it's
than the new crap that's out there.
sounds like it's your podcast.
Last week on Rage or Dare, our surprise guests Frankie and Scott dared Jim to see Birdemic Shock and Terror, a film which not only inspired a subplot on Schitt's Creek, but also apparently did actually play in 4 cinemas in the entire world. Who knew? This week, the boys get choices. They can choose to stick with their god and take their chances with my succulent and juicy horrific bag of evil remakes, or see what's inside Murray's box, or choose what's behind door number 3 and go to our listeners' dare bag. Just remember, boys, whatever you choose this week, you have to choose something different in the following weeks. So, choose wisely. As promised, I'm not going anywhere. Now let's check in with Jim and see what's worse, a birdemic or the last 3 years on planet Earth. Seriously, this year alone we've had a UFO outbreak and a major chemical spill. You never know what's going to happen next. Caca!
I love our God. He's so awesome. Okay. Let's sit down and relax. This is going to take a very long time. Of the history of great horror movies where birds are the centerpiece, you know, like The Birds by Hitchcock. Or like, well, The Birds, actually. I think that's the only one.
It's the only one you need.
This is the absolute worst. You know from the start we are in trouble when, for the lack of a better word, director does not know how to hold a camera. As the camera drives through the hills, being held at every single angle, but straight and pointed. This is the first scene, and I'm already annoyed. And as Bryce might say, there was so many Dutch angles in this. I thought I was over in Denmark. From there, the biggest question on my mind was, who thought putting this in cinema, or making this at all, would be something anyone wanted, with what has to be the worst editing, sound, acting, direction, lighting, music, plot, script, security, food services, key grips, animators, special effects, set design, cinematography, makeup, costume design, art department, visual effects, casting, location, production, and if I forgot a department, that department was also the worst of anything you or I have ever seen. And it was so choppy, it was really, really hard to watch with the sound mix that was confusing as to how that was even possible. Also made it confusing. The sound would be on, and then it would be off, and then it would be on, and then it would cut to another scene, and then the sound was different, and then it was louder, and then it was softer, and then it was with more louder music, and then there was voices that weren't heard. It was literally insane, this entire movie, and not insane in a good way. Let me tell you more. I kept thinking that this was going to be so bad it was funny. But no, it was not funny. No, this was actually so bad it was painful. But every frame of this movie went from more badly to most worstly badly. Almost as horribly most worstly badly than my grammar is right now. Pretty much every scene was so random and make no point in the movie. Like after a girl at a diner, our, for lack of a better word, actor / lead, for lack of a better word, goes home after having a conversation that also made no sense to watch TV and eat cereal, then goes and fills up at the gas station, again, for no apparent reason. Then we get to see him drive to work. Then we see him do work in what obviously is not a set and makes a whole whale of a sale in what industry at this time, I am not even sure. Then to photo shoots with the lady from the diner, to shoot things at the same time when it's not in focus. This is a camera shot. This is supposedly a photo shoot for a model that isn't in focus. And as per every shot before, was terribly mixed, shot, directed, and sound that was so awful, it hurt my mind trying to wrap my head around what mentally ill person or incompetent 4-year-old put this out, for a lack of a better word, film together. Eventually my vision, sanity, and comprehension of reality started failing, as watching this made me wish for a swift death and started failing and falling in and out of consciousness as I started fantasizing about the animated TV show Futurama and wishing there was a suicide booth handy to eliminate the torture I was enduring. Every frame was terrifyingly awful, even though the female lead, for lack of a better word, was extremely hot. Listening to the horrible dialogue and acting, and the male lead caused me no solace from the torture. Never in my life have I seen someone so repulsive that I wanted to destroy my home theater center by smashing my head into it until I placed myself into a coma or death, as long as it would end this film. And then I realized I'm only 20 minutes into this film. And here I thought it was 7 hours. So, for little over half of the movie, I could not escape the pain and discomfort. You know, like bleeding pussy hemorrhoids for my soul that infects every ounce of your brain, body, and nether regions. But then, the CGI overlaid birds started attacking in what can only be described as exploding dive bombs with surround sound machine gun sounds, even when no guns were being fired. And although the movie still was extremely and completely excruciatingly awful, the CGI birds made me laugh so hard I could not stop. But even though the bird attacks were few and very far between, I still laughed every time they came on, for like 2 seconds at a time. With how horrible this film was overall, I felt sick for the remainder of this week. And again, thank you to Bryce for making me watch another movie almost as bad as this. Up until this moment, I thought I would never be able to watch another film, as all my senses had been destroyed by this particular film. even have a newfound metallic taste in my mouth. Hold on, I need a drink of water. And now have seizures for no reasons that come and go.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. This film, aside from the minimal amount of bird attacks, was unquestionably the worst movie I have ever seen. All I can say...
Really?
Oh, sorry. These seizures, they just may never go away. What was I saying again?
This was the worst movie you ever seen. All you can say.
Thank you. All I can say is, I wish I had chose door number 2, Scott and Frankie. Then I would be turtling right now at the Turtle Club instead of whatever I am now, broken and seizure-ridden for the rest of my days until Futurama becomes a reality, I guess.
Turtle.
Turtle, turtle, turtle. Wounds without blood from bird attacks, sex scenes in their underwear, CGI and puppet bird attacks overlaid, guns and never-ending bullets, music that just stops for no reason at all. These are just a few of my least favorite things. I would have sang like Julie Andrews, but I am now a broken person. This is by far the worst thing I have ever seen. And imagining that this was actually played in a cinema, someone had to have paid to put this in the cinema.
They may have.
This was terrible.
That sounds bad.
Have you seen it?
No, I'm not going to.
And you know what's even worse about it?
No.
I started watching the second one.
Why?
The second one?
Because I was in a seizure. I didn't know what I was doing. And my wife goes, Why are we watching this? I go, I can't stop now.
So you probably didn't watch much of the second one, but was the production values even
No.
a little bit?
No. And the funniest thing about this is when I put up our social media post for this, every single one of our friends on social media went, "Oh no, you guys did not watch this, did you?" I said, "No, not you guys, just me." And I had people just saying, "This movie is so bad. It really is the worst thing I've ever seen."
All right.
Except for the 2 seconds of the birds, which they would show a scene, and then it was kind of like, what are those video games back in the 80s, Murray, that you used to love when you watch TV shows, where they would have like things floating in front of it and you would like shoot them. That's what it looked
Duck
like.
Hunt?
I couldn't even tell if they were CGI or if it was puppets. It was so terrible. It was just like, caw, caw. And then they would put them up there. Yeah, this is bad. So we got to make a decision.
All right.
We got 3 choices.
Yeah.
And we can't double up. So whatever we choose today is going to be something different next time we do a double.
Yeah.
So, Murray, have you got stuff in your bag? We haven't chosen a Murray movie in a long time.
I haven't seen stuff in months.
Do we know?
It's not even here.
Is Murray's bag here? Is this one's Murray's bag?
I don't know.
No, that's my bag.
Is this one Murray's bag?
No.
Is this one Murray's bag?
Murray's still an ice cream bucket.
Oh! Ice cream bucket of rage. All right.
I don't know. He's redecorated a few times since.
There's
we moved
lots in here.
course
This is
there
like
is.
full of creamy goodness.
'Cause you haven't used it in months.
Yeah, well, we've been challenged.
We were challenged.
And we picked up that gauntlet.
I forgot 3 of them here.
Oh,
We put 2
there's
back.
so much Murray in one bucket of
All right,
rage.
I got one. Are you ready for this?
Murray, can you do the sound effect of that? Ba 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 ba.
Didn't I already make you watch this?
Maybe. What is it?
Maybe I didn't. 27 Dresses?
It's not just me. You have to watch it too.
Yeah, I know, but
Was it on your list before?
I don't
Pick another
know.
one then.
Well, let me check.
Do you remember watching 27 Dresses? It's Katherine Heigl.
I know I've seen it. That doesn't mean I saw it to be tortured a second time. I can tell you.
Yes.
I can't tell you. It's not searching it.
Excellent.
Nope. We have never watched it.
There you go.
Perfect.
I mean, we talked about Katherine Heigl. That's why she's on
Well, yeah.
our doubted list or
Alright.
or repulsive.
That's why
one of the
whenever
two.
I see a movie that with her in it and the DVD
he picks it up
section,
to
I
put
pick it out,
He picks it up to put in the
knowing
goodie
it would
bag.
be a rage.
Yeah.
27 dresses.
Like I didn't pick the one with Gerard Butler.
Well, you know what? It's still young, Murray. Your bag has to get filled again at some point.
Yeah.
We
Maybe
did
by- maybe
we
by
just
the
we
spring.
just watched that one. I did watch as part of Rage or Dare. I know for a fact.
What was it? Do you remember?
The Awful Truth. Katherine Heigl and
Oh yes, you
Yeah,
did.
yes,
I thought it was
I
the
did.
Bounty
Oh
Hunter.
yes, you did.
Oh.
Always watch The Bounty Hunter too.
I watched The Bounty Hunter too.
But that
Isn't
one,
Katherine Heigl in The Awful
No,
Truth?
Yeah, but one of them has Gerard Butler, one of them doesn't.
Yeah, Gerard Butler's in The Awful Truth.
yeah,
I thought he was in the Bounty Hunter.
He's
in
also
both.
in The Bounty Hunter,
Oh,
but
but
that's
but it
what-
wasn't.
but
Catherine
that's what-
Heigl wasn't in
Oh,
both.
But that's with Aniston, isn't it?
Oh, is that
Jennifer Aniston in
Aniston?
it?
Okay.
You know
there
what?
go.
It doesn't matter.
They're all awful.
I think Murray. What I'm sensing is a theme here. Apparently, Murray is making a bide for God of Rage to try and take it away from Casey, and I don't know if that's possible.
We'll
To be honest, I found and bought these movies like almost a year ago now. So
Back when Murray had,
I don't
money.
even know what's in there anymore.
All right.
Well, maybe you'll
27
want to.
dresses.
Maybe you'll want to
There
take a
you go.
scoop and look at it
There you
later.
go.
All right.
I'll be looking at stuff.
It was on top.
Well, you're lucky then. You'll see my job.
I saw the pink box and I'm like, that's got to
That's
be
gotta
27
be
dresses, and it was.
Well, you got lucky. Otherwise, you would have seen everything that's in there.
I haven't looked at anything in there.
You know, there's one thing that Bryce doesn't like is looking inside of a box. But when he does, he usually sees pink. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to the Extended Film Rage family, who you can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey from The Nerdy Photographer for the voice of Rage or Dare, who is also the God of Rage. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We're always wanting to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, and subscribe, and send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com. Dare see terrible movies to fuel our rage, but no matter what you do, please, 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 don't make us a rage. A week, a rage on.
Rage on.